Alright, so in the last video, we have discussed how can you declare a string variable and how can you initialize or assign the values, the data inside the variable. Okay, in this video, we're gonna do a little bit more hands-on with the variables, and we'll try to see a different types of variable. Okay, so I'll quickly copy the same method name and create a different method. You cannot have same name with two different method inside the same class, right? So I have to give a separate name. If you give the same name here and here also, you'll get in one error. Because what is the reason we cannot define multiple methods inside the same class with same name? Just because when you call the method, what is method? Method is basically where you dump the business logic. And finally, you would be calling the method from a different place. Maybe whenever you click on lead clone button, you want to call this method. Maybe when you are deleting a record, maybe you want to call this method. Maybe whenever an account is created with status is maybe whenever an opportunity is created with status closed on, you want to call this method. So method is basically a logic holder, and it will be executed from different place. And if you provide the same method name, then if you try to call this method and this method, which method will be executed? System will be confused. The method name has to be unique. Inside the same class, see, I can have another class where I can put the same method. Why? Because in that case, it would be like a second class, whatever class it will be, that class name dot method name. That's how I will call, right? You know what I mean? See, here there's a method called how to use string variable, and there's a class called hello world. How do you call this method? Hello world dot how to use string variable. Let's say you have another class called hello world 1, or you have another class called XYZ. Okay. Now in that class, you can have the same method because that's a different class. Okay. So inside the same class, you cannot have multiple methods with same name. Alright. So I want to show you something over here. Let me take a variable string subject. Okay. And I am going to assign subject is equals to Java. Okay. Now if I print this, if I put like system dot debug, see, the moment you put deb, it will automatically come, right? And put some dot, copy the subject, and I'm trying to print this subject variable. Whatever I have hold in this subject variable is got, I'm going to print here, save. Simple class, simple method. Now if I want to call this method, what do you think what will be the output? I'm going to call this particular method 1. Okay, you just provide here 1, yeah, and then execute this method. What will be the output? The output will be subject, which is nothing but Java, correct? Let me open this. If I click on debug only, see, this is the output. Subject is Java. Now this is what we already know, right? We have already done this in the previous video. What I'm going to show you is this. What if I go, I'm just putting some space over here. Okay. So what if I go and assign subject is equal to something else? Let's say I'm copying the same line. Now subject is equal to Apex. What do you think now? What will be the value of subject? Do you think it will be still Java? Yeah, let's go and check it out. Execute. Debug only. This is what subject is Apex. Why? See, that's how it happens. Okay, variable cannot remember the old data. Variable, if you declare and if you assign something inside the variable, what will happen? Variable will only remember the latest value that you assign. It will forget the old one. Now again, if you copy the same line assign, instead of apex, let's say C++. Save. And now if you call this, what will be the value of subject? CPP. If it is a variable, then variable cannot remember the old values. It can just remember whatever the new value that you have assigned, the recent value that you have assigned. Okay, that's the deal with the variable. Same thing with any other variable. Okay, let me just take another variable called integer, and name is integer variable. I'm taking one more variable called boolean, and the name of the variable is boolean variable, right? Just I'm taking the variable. See here in this line, you are just taking the variable, you are just declaring the variable, you have not initialized anything, right? Now I'm going to go and initialize integer variable is equals to 100. Okay, what if I go and print this? What will be the output? I'm gonna go and print this integer variable. Okay, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, yeah, paste it here also. Save. See, same thing here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the same line, paste it in the next line, and this time I'm gonna put 200. Okay, so if I now go ahead and print this, what will be the value? What will be the value in the system.debug? First of all, subject would be C++. Second, integer value would be 200, not 100. And let me just take this variable also. The data type called boolean can hold either true or false. You cannot hold 1 2 3 4 5 or ABCD inside this boolean type of variable. It has to be either true or false, correct? So let me take this is equals to false. Okay, and I will print this particular variable as well here, called boolean variable. Okay, so copy this, paste it here, paste it here, save. If I now go ahead and call this method, you know what will be the output, right? Output will be simple. Subject is C++, integer variable is 200, boolean variable is false, right? Subject is C++, integer variable replaced with 200, boolean is false. And again, let's say boolean variable, I'm putting this as true, right? TRUE. You can put T as capital, small, doesn't matter. Then now what will be the value of this last variable? Definitely true. You got the point? So variable cannot remember the old value, it can only remember the new value that you have assigned. Okay, see you in the next video.